Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I've got two replays for you in the tier 10 American tech tree tank destroyer, the T110E4. So the E4 will start off by just going through the equipment I run on this tank. So I've got gun rammer, advanced gun lane drive, and I've got the advanced ammo swapper, which means I can swap between both ammo types without the reload penalty. And I've got Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Steady Aim, Snapshots, Situational Awareness, Track Mechanic, Clutch Braking, and Off-Road Driving. So yeah, the E4 is just a tad bit of an overpowered beast at tier 10 personally. Now this thing got buffed quite a while back now, but the buffs it had was significantly good, and actually really did improve, particularly the armor on the frontal armor just kind of became impenetrable. I can't remember if they made any buffs to the gun or not, but I know the armor buffs just kind of changed it sort of overnight pretty much, and it sort of became quite a strong beast. A lot of people said that the buffs kind of like are warranted, really, to be honest, and as such kind of made its sort of brother, the E3 sort of on the other tank destroyer in the American tech tree line, kind of made that quite redundant, to be honest, and you can kind of see why. But so yeah, it's got fantastic solid frontal armor. It's got good penetration values, especially on the premium rounds, like 375mm a pen. You do about 850 damage per shot. Now please note, you actually do 1100 on the HE rounds, hence why I got the ammo swapper, because you never know when they're going to come in handy. If you sort of see a Taran or a grill, then you're going to have fun time. Equally, if you get behind tanks, you can use the HE. I had a game sort of earlier on where sort of I hit the back of a Death Star with the HE rounds and rolled over 1100. So they are useful to have. Don't get me wrong, there are other equipment pieces that you could put instead of the advanced reloader if you fancy. If you wanted to sort of go and look at it differently, Vents is a good option, because obviously it improves everything all round, improves your gun handling, your reload. So I would probably opt that would be a better one if you thought the advanced reloader was kind of a waste of time. It's one of those. And in all fairness, how many times do I use the advanced reloader in these replays? I'm not entirely sure on this one, but I know the second replay, I don't think I used it once. So you could argue that it's kind of a wasted slot. I just equipped it for the memes, basically. You could equally put traction system on, or optics if you wanted to improve the view range. I wouldn't waste the time with camo net. I don't think there's any point. The E4 just doesn't. It's not a traditional tank destroyer or typical tank destroyer, lightly armored, where you sit back and snipe like most tank destroyers do. This is a brawler. This is something you can get frontline, and you can use the armor really effectively. So to be camping with it and put a camo net on, I just don't see the value, if I'm honest. So the bad points of the E4 then, your speed is slow. It's 35 kilometers an hour, and you've got 10 kilometers an hour reverse speed, which is even worse. Poor shell velocity. In fact, your premium rounds just peak over 1000, so it's not great. You got 0.37 accuracy. Your gun is slightly derpy. You do have to give it a bit of time, because it will struggle. You got 6 degrees of gun depression, 2.9 second aim time with 19.5 second base reload. I have obviously got mine down running the perks and the gun rammer. And we've actually got the HE loaded here, and there we go, over 1100 hit points taken from that artillery. That's why I run the advanced reloader, so it has come in handy in this game, and it's stuff like that that just makes it worth the while, because there's nothing more glorious than slapping artillery for pretty much all its health, particularly if you've had it aiming at your game. I've been quite lucky, it hasn't hit me once, but yeah, most of the time I do get hit by RT, and I have an absolute obsession with taking out RT wherever possible. So yeah, the bad points, back to the E4 on the bad points, you've got poor traverse, power to weight ratio is quite low, 20% fire chance. Now, another thing to point out is when you angle this tank, if I'm honest, the two key things you want to do when you're sort of battling someone is hide the lower plate, and if you're fighting someone sort of a bit of a distance, like support or ridge line, try and keep your tank faced on straight, because if you're angled, that you can see the engine deck is quite raised prominently. The armour on that engine deck I think is between 20 and 40 millimeters of thickness, so anyone is going to pen that. So you need to kind of not angle the tank, because as soon as anybody sees the rear of that tank, they're going to hit it and they're going to pen it. It's going to be easy to pen. Anybody loading HE will go through it easily. So that's one thing to bear in mind and keep out for when you are using this tank. Like I said, its frontal arm is fantastic. So where you can get it hull down or the lower plate hidden, you're going to have a hell of a good time using this tank, because it's just, its frontal armor is fantastic. And weirdly enough, I don't play the E4 very often. It's not actually a TD I get on well with. I always seem to get absolutely rinsed when I play the tank for whatever unknown reason, possibly because I just play it maybe a bit too over aggressive. In this replay, you can see I've kind of not been that aggressive. I've just, I have kind of played a typical tank destroyer where I've sort of held back a little bit. So yeah, and that's just because it's proc. On proc you can't. I mean, I couldn't really play the ridge lines because 6 degrees of gun depression makes it very hard work. So I've just done what I could do, playing the one line, and it's kind of paid off, to be fair. And I've had fun. I've slapped, RT in a grill for over 1100 hit points. So, what's not to like about that? And the other good thing I've got as well is if you're coming up against tanks that are on the ridge line, and you can just swap to the HE. If you can't pen them with the APCR, just swap to the HE, just splash them. This is kind of what I've done with the MBT, splashed them for 400. Makes them think twice about poking up. Also, kind of makes them think about playing that position. You can kind of persuade them to move. If you're getting hit for HE when you're only on sort of like 700 hit points, you're gonna kind of think maybe I should just move to a different location. Frees up the spot, makes you able to advance your play and help your team advance as well, and grab more map control, which is always a good thing, particularly on proc. So yeah, we're even Stevens. It's 6-5. We've got 3 kills, just over 4.8k damage with 744 spotting assist. And yeah, it's been a close game pretty much all the way through, but we've got control of the one line. There's we can't be capped out, I don't think. I think we've got enough control in the game where we can not suffer a cap out. Now, I've just noticed our tank destroyer has been taken out on the one line there, who was sort of closest to the base by a waffle. Now that says to me that waffle is sitting somewhere at the back, so I don't particularly want to venture out. Now this is where it's going to kind of get a little bit stale, I think, and we're going to be sort of waiting a little while for someone to possibly go and spot out that waffle. Can't think where that waffle is, where he took out the that tank destroyer on the one line. He may well be playing a 6, might be playing on that sort of ridge there. I'm kind of just asking my team if they can sort of go and spot. Unfortunately, we've got a tortoise grill and an MBT. And out of all those, the grill was probably the most likely to be able to play the spotter, effectively. But obviously, being a grill, it's quite tall. It has good camo, but it's not particularly something I would feel confident in using as a spotter. But against the Waffly 100, it could obviously outspot it. It just depends what else is there. Now, we'd see the cap went off, but there is the Waffle who quickly gets taken out by the grill. And Now we can sort of advance a bit more and try and see if we can find the other tank destroyer. Artillery is over there getting pushed by the MBT, I believe. And yeah, we're just going to try and see if we can perhaps find the enemy, the other enemy TD and try and bring this game to a close. Looks like the MBT should be able to take out the artillery. And there we go, we've spotted the Conway and immediately gets shot down. Now we should have took our time with the shot there, but I kind of rushed it, wanted to just sort of get the shot in, but unfortunately the shot dirts. But he does get taken out by our friendly Tortoise, and that brings an end to replay number 1. So let's see how we got on. So we come top of the board with 4.8k damage with 3 kills and 2.6k assist, picking up the first class. Not a bad game start, but as always, we always leave the second best till last. So let's see how we got on there. So here we are then, we are on half your pass and we are going to go straight into the middle section. Now this is probably the better spawn on half your pass for the E4, because like I said, it's got great frontal armor, so I can kind of play it a little bit like a heavy tank if I'm honest. So you can sort of get up to the front lines, can brawl with it, just as long as you hide your lower plate, and obviously make sure you're not angled to get hit in the rear on that engine deck. So yeah, I'm going to go to the middle and I'm just going to sort of try and see if potentially and get some shots on anything that crosses or sort of gets in the middle section. Try and encourage some of our team to sort of come with me, just so I've got a little bit of support, a little bit of cover. And our light tank has gone to the middle. Looks like it's lit up a Murat, and there doesn't seem to be anything else at the moment. So just going to keep advancing, going to hopefully sort of get into this little dip here where it's quite an effective position. But now we can start seeing some tanks crossing. The Progetto has just been tracked, so I'm going to slap a shot into the side of that guy, and you can see there. Now I've been telling you not to angle, but that's kind of precisely what I'm about. Luckily for me, I guess I've got Z5 to the side of me, so in all fairness, he is kind of blocking my side with his turret, so they're going to find it hard to sort of penetrate my engine bay if he sort of stays to the side of me. It's kind of giving me some good cover, to be fair. But you've seen there's a lot of tanks in the middle here. You can see this object 705A who slap a shot into the upper plate. It's not a problem. Like I say, this tank has got 375mm of penetration on the premium rounds. It's predominantly why I've got the premium rounds loaded, to be honest, more so for the better shell velocity than anything. The extra pen is nice, but yeah, it's that shell velocity that I want. See the E4, we slap a shot, damaging his Armour, which is good. Hopefully we can take out the E4, because, well, you know how dangerous the E4 is. We are playing it. And so yeah, if there's an E4 in the enemy team, which we can see here, and hopefully, there we go, we can slap a shot in, picking up our second kill of the game. We're already up to 3.2k damage. This is a perfect scenario for me, because the damage is pretty much all in front. It's just targets. The gun, I'm keeping the gun slinging. This Valor is just getting behind the E4 wreck, but I'm waiting for him to make a move. He's poked out to try and get a shot. He exposed his front plate, and we're able to punch through that, picking up a bit more damage. Now we're going to try and see if perhaps we can get the kill shot on him, but again, he's just behind a dead wreck. But there we go, backs up enough, we can slot a shot into the side, picking up our third kill of the game, up to 4.5k damage. We've bounced over 1,000, and yeah, there's still 10 tanks left to fight. So decided I'm going to push up now, because it looks like we've pretty much softened or cleared that midsection where those tanks were crossing. I think they've kind of thought better of that now, decided to back off. Now we see this TNH Czechoslovakian heavy tank, which we put a shot into, picking up our fourth kill of the game. And we're just going to advance, and I can see that E5 is full health, so kind of wanted to make that my priority, but I can see his waffle, gone for the HE, but then he gets unspotted, so I've gone back to the APCR rounds. But there we go, the waffle is spotted again. He does get shot, line up the shot, and there we go, picking up our 5th kill of the game, taking out the waffle. Glad I got rid of the waffle, because that means that that guy can't put us in a crossfire when we go in for this E5. And again, you see E5 is full health. I want a bit of that action. Got to obviously be careful of tanks on the side and getting shot there, I think, by a T-breaker and by something else, which, you know, luckily we blocked about 700 damage there. So yeah, the side armor on the turret is really effective. You know, it can just bounce so much. Unfortunately, the Object 257 kind of blocks our retreat a little bit, so we're just trying to back up. But not to worry, we've still got, you know, we've got plenty of hit points to spare. We get another shot into that E5. We've pretty much taken this E5's health. 257 goes and unfortunately doesn't pen. The E5 puts a shot into him, just waiting for the 257 to get a shot off. The E5 gets his shot in, and then we take the opportunity to slam a shell into his lower plate, picking up our 6th kill of the game. So we've confirmed our top gun, but there's 4 tanks left. And yeah, we're just going to try and make our way over to this corner now, because it looks like they're boxed in. I don't think there's any way this team is going to come back from this, to be honest. They're pretty much trapped. We see the T-breaker on the move, and we slap a shot in there, picking up our 7th kill. We got the Devastator. We're up to 8.2k damage. We picked up a little bit of assist as well, and we've blocked 2.2k damage as well. We've had pretty much a phenomenal game there. And there we go, the last tank gets taken out by our friendly Armour, and that brings an end to the replay. So there we go, 8.2k damage with 7 kills, with just over 1,000 assists, blocked 2.2k damage, picking up the ace tanker, the Devastator medal, the high caliber, and yeah, it was a really good game, actually, to be fair. It was the right, what's the word, just lucky, I guess, in some respects, to have all the targets there, being able to just keep the gun slinging and not having to chase the damage down. So yeah, that's E4 in a nutshell. Is it still overpowered? Yeah, it is. It definitely is. It's very strong. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the E4. Do you think it's overpowered, or do you disagree? Leave a comment below, guys, in the section, and yeah, let me know what you guys think. As always, if you did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. And as always, I'll catch you next time.
Uh-oh.